What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another My Damn Toys video. Today I'm going to be going through my WWE Crown Jewel predictions. Obviously, the pay-per-view is on a Friday instead of a Sunday. It is going to be taking place tomorrow evening time. It's going to be 12 p.m. I do believe, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm pretty excited for this card, to be honest with you guys. I know it's very controversial, the whole pay-per-view itself. You know, a lot of people didn't want to even go to it. A lot of people aren't happy with it and everything, but I'm just going to look at it for what it is. It's a big-time wrestling event. I'm excited for a lot of the matches on this card, and I'm actually looking forward to this a whole deal. I'm actually looking forward to this more than Super Showdown, more than the Greatest Royal Rumble, and I think that this is going to be a big-time show, so I'm ready for it. I'm going to take you guys through my predictions, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first matchup we have, guys, is the Smackdown Live Tag Team Championship match between The Bar and The New Day. These two teams have incredible chemistry. If you guys saw the Trick or Street fight that took place on Smackdown Live, I was actually there, row 2, and I know a lot of people actually didn't like this matchup, but I enjoyed the crap out of that match. It was very entertaining. I don't know if you guys got to see half the spots on TV or what it was, but it was very enjoyable sitting ringside. I know it's pretty goofy, but at the same time, it was very entertaining. At one point in the match, I think New Day, I think Kofi tried to throw a pumpkin across the ring. Well, Cesaro, like, intercepted it and planted it off the back of Big E. I don't know if that spot made it on TV, but it was incredible and just everything. But I enjoy what these two teams are doing. They always have great chemistry. I think this matchup could actually steal the show if they give them the time to do so. And I think that it's safe to say that The Bar is going to retain here. I mean, they just won the tag titles from New Day, and I think that we're going to get, you know, Sanity or the Usos or a new team in here to go battle with The Bar. As great as both of these teams are, and, you know, New Day just looks right with gold around their waist. I think that The Bar has to take it here, so I'm going with The Bar to retain in a solid matchup. So I guess we can start off with Raw side of the Crown Jewel World Cup tournament right here. Guys, we have two matchups in the quarterfinal. We have Dolph Ziggler, my boy, taking on one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Kurt Angle, and then we have my boy Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental and Raw Tag Team Champion, taking on Bobby Lashley. And you know, Bobby Lashley replaced John Cena. I would have loved to see John Cena and Seth Rollins go head-to-head in this matchup, but you know, we have to accept what it is. John Cena didn't want to perform in Saudi Arabia with Crown Jewel and all that stuff going on over there, so we did get him replaced with Bobby Lashley. I would have way rather preferred Finn Balor in this opportunity, but you know, it is what it is, and Bobby Trashley and Lio Rush did make the trip to Saudi Arabia, so this is how I think the Raw side of things will go. I think that Lio Rush is going to get involved in the matchup with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, but I think that Seth Rollins will overcome both of those men. I think that Seth Rollins is on a tear. You know, he's the biggest babyface on Raw right now, and I think that he will take down Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. He'll move out of the way, and Seth Rollins will move on to the semifinal. Then we go over to the other quarterfinal in Kurt Angle versus my boy Dolph Ziggler. This one's actually kind of tough for me to call because, you know, people love nostalgia, people love Kurt Angle. I, for one, love Kurt Angle, but I think that Dolph Ziggler being the heel and Kurt Angle being the babyface is going to hurt him here. I think that Drew McIntyre is going to cost Kurt Angle this matchup. I think that, you know, Drew will come out, cost Kurt Angle the matchup. It'll be a solid little thing. I'm excited to see what Ziggler can do with Angle, but ultimately Kurt Angle will fall, and Ziggler will move on to the semifinals, so you got your heel Dolph Ziggler taking on babyface Red Hot Seth Rollins in the semifinals. And now I'm going to move over to SmackDown side. Moving over to SmackDown Live side of the Crown Jewel World Cup Tournament, guys, we have the quarterfinals on this side. We have Jeff Hardy versus The Miz, and then Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. I think this side of the tournament is a lot more difficult to predict, being that all four of these guys are future first ballot Hall of Famers. Like, every single one of these guys is going to give a speech at the Hall of Fame one day, and it's very hard to call this side, but I'm going to try my best to do so right here, and I don't think they're going to really care about face-heel dynamic right here. I think that Jeff Hardy is going to get beat by The Miz. I think that Miz is sort of on a hot streak. You know, he's beaten Daniel Bryan multiple times, and I think that he's going to be in position for the next World Championship opportunity. So I think that Jeff Hardy will get defeated here. I think The Miz will move on this side, and then I think over here, Randy Orton, he's the top heel in the company right now. I think Rey Mysterio, as tough it is to accept, I think Rey Mysterio is going to come down, and we're going to have like sort of a babyface Miz taking on the top heel Randy Orton, and I just think this is going to happen given what happened on SmackDown. You know, Jeff and Rey won the tag team match, and then of course Randy Orton turned on the Miz, and you know, sort of set up a little feud between the two. So I think this will be the finals on SmackDown side of the Crown Jewel World Tournament. So getting into the semifinals of the World Cup Tournament, guys, we have Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler in one semifinal, and then on the SmackDown side, we have The Miz versus Randy Orton. I think this is how the way this is going to go here. I think that Randy Orton is going to topple The Miz. I think that's safe to say. You know, Randy Orton being the top heel that he is, I think that this is going to make for the best finalists for SmackDown Live. So Randy Orton will be in the finals of SmackDown Live side. On the semifinals of Raw side, we have Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. I think that this is going to be a great matchup. You know, both guys go back and forth. I think Drew McIntyre will try and get involved. It will not work, and Dolph Ziggler will get defeated there. That will lead to their eventual breakup. So we have our finals of the World Cup Tournament at Crown Jewel right here, guys. Raw side of things, we have Seth Rollins. On SmackDown side of things, we have the Viper, my boy Randy Orton. Two of my favorite wrestlers in the entire world right here going head-to-head. I think this is a beautiful matchup. We've seen these guys go head-to-head in the past. I think Randy Orton being the top heel that he is and Seth Rollins being the top face that he is, I think this has the, you know, the momentum and the freaking booking to be incredible. There is a small wrinkle detail that is going to make this match even better. Shane McMahon announced on SmackDown Live that the finalist on SmackDown side, it'll be Randy Orton in this case. If Randy Orton were to lose to Seth Rollins, he will be traded to Raw or sent over to Raw. He will no longer be employed on SmackDown Live, which is very interesting. I love when they add little wrinkles like this. It makes it very interesting, you know, going in. However, I don't think that that wrinkle is going to come into effect. I don't think that it's going to have any effect on it. I think that Seth Rollins' Shield brother, Dean Ambrose, is going to come down to the ring, hit a Dirty Deeds on Seth Rollins, and take him out and Dirty Deeds away. Mean Machine Dean Ambrose is going to get the hell out of there, and Randy Orton will be your Crown Jewel World Tournament Champion. And I don't even know if they get anything. Do they get a future championship opportunity? I don't even know if that was announced. But Randy Orton will be your winner of the Crown Jewel World Tournament, and it will be epic. I think that is what's going to take place. It makes the most sense booking-wise between Seth and Dean. It keeps Randy Orton looking very strong with the top heel that he is right now, and all will be right in the world. So I think that is how the World Tournament will go on Crown Jewel. Next up, we have the WWE Championship match between the phenomenal AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I can't remember if this is their third or fourth matchup, but I can honestly watch these guys fight all day. I'm excited for this matchup. You know, originally it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan in this matchup. It was supposed to be Daniel Bryan taking on AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan did not want to go to Saudi Arabia. He did not want to go to Crown Jewel, so they had to replace him with Samoa Joe. I think this is the right move. You know, it was rumored that Samoa Joe was injured, and that happens to not be true, I guess. I think he's completely fine. He showed up on SmackDown Live after Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles WWE Championship match, took out Daniel Bryan, and it is Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. I'm excited for this. Again, like I said, I don't think it'll be their best matchup, but I think it will be a good one. Hopefully, you know, they do top their previous matchups. I hope it is their best one, but you never know given the time and everything going into this show. But I think I'm going to have Samoa Joe taking away the WWE Championship. You know, we've seen AJ Styles take on Brock Lesnar last year at Survivor Series, and I don't think that they're going to go with that again. I don't think that AJ Styles versus Braun Strowman would be a good strategy for Survivor Series. I think that Samoa Joe versus Braun or Samoa Joe versus Brock makes the better matchup in their eyes. So I am going with the Samoan Destroyer to finally capture the WWE Championship from AJ Styles, and I don't know how that title's hanging onto his shoulder, but he is, and that's what's going to happen at Crown Jewel. Samoa Joe will become the new WWE Champion. Next up, we have the classic nostalgic tag team match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction, Triple H and HBK taking on Undertaker and Kane. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know how many enjoyed it, but I thoroughly enjoyed the Undertaker versus Triple H with HBK and Kane in their corners at Super Showdown. I don't know why. I know it wasn't the cleanest matchup and it was kind of botchy at times, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, both of them, like, I grew up with both of those guys. I know exactly what they're capable of doing. I've seen their entire careers take place, and to see them still be able to go at it at the pace that they did, it was actually kind of solid, and I enjoyed it. So if that match has anything to do with this match as far as booking wise and the way it goes, I think that this match could, you know, live up to that same expectation and be just as good as that one was. I hope that, you know, this is a slower paced match. It won't have to be as fast given that it's a tag team match. So hopefully, you know, these guys deliver. I hope that Kane doesn't, you know, do too terrible. I think that this match is going to set up Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at Survivor Series. I think that's exactly where this thing's going, so definitely be on the lookout for that booking to be happening through this matchup, the story that will be told. But I'm going to go with the Brothers of Destruction. You know, Triple H defeated Undertaker at Super Showdown, so now the Brothers of Destruction have to defeat the D-Generation X Reformation right here. So I think that the Undertaker and Kane will win, and that will set up HBK versus Undertaker to settle all the scores at, you know, it'll be one apiece after this match, and then we'll have our, you know, final decider to see who wins the series of 3 at Survivor Series between HBK and Undertaker. And then, of course, we have our main event for the evening, the singles match between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar for the vacant Universal Championship. And to be honest with you guys, I really don't want neither of these men to be Universal Champion, just because I feel like my ship, as far as I'm concerned, my ship has sailed on Braun Strowman. Used to be totally ready for the guy to be Universal Champion. I was so hyped for him, and then they just kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it and delaying it, and then eventually I did not care anymore, and that's where I am right now. I like him as a character. I like him as far as a person. I love Braun Strowman as a fan and everything, but I do not want him as Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar, I think everybody knows how everyone feels about Brock Lesnar. I don't think they want him around a championship for the rest of his career, and they want him to go to UFC. So I think that everybody wants Braun Strowman to win this matchup, but to be honest, the way I would book it, what I would want to happen is that this match goes to a no contest. They beat the hell out of each other, and both of them can't make it to the ring for the 10 count. Automatic vacation, and we got to watch Monday Night Raw to see what happens, and I think that they should vacate the title still. Come out on Monday Night Raw with Kurt Angle or Baron Corbin or whoever, and he needs to say we're going to have either a tournament, or he needs to say we're going to have an Elimination Chamber at Survivor Series to crown a new Universal Champion, and that's the way I would book it. That's the way I would like to see it. I know that's not going to happen, so I think that Braun Strowman's finally going to get his time. I think they're going to give the title to Braun Strowman, and we're going to have Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman in a WWE Champion versus Universal Champion match at Survivor Series. I think that's the way this thing's going to go, and Brock Lesnar will go away to UFC, and all will be right in the world, and then I guess we'll get some challengers for Braun Strowman. That's the only problem. I guess that Drew McIntyre would be the next in line to fight Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw, given he's the top heel, because Dean's all wrapped up, and Bobby Lashley's awful, and he's feuding with Finn Balor, and it's just atrocious over there. So I think that Braun Strowman wins the Universal title, and he finally captures it, and Brock Lesnar goes away. And Ringside Collectibles, use the promo code MDTOYS to save 10%. And yeah, that is it for your Crown Jewel predictions, guys. Again, I'm very excited for this show. I am actually way more excited for it than I probably should be. But I'm a huge mark for tournaments. I'm a huge mark for competition-based things. So Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, tournaments, King of the Ring, stuff like that drives me up the wall. It makes me very excited as a huge competitor myself, as an athlete and everything. I just love it to death. So I'm very excited for this pay-per-view, and I probably shouldn't be, because every time I get my hopes up, you know what happens? Everything goes freaking Batista thumbs down through the table, Triple H Evolution style. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching my predictions. Comment down below what your predictions are. Subscribe to the channel for more epic WWE figure videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MyDamnToys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Universal Champion face.